Your Honor, may we approach?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Confused with someone else. I moved on. I'm told. Either way, there won't be any issue. She's got no problem.
All right. Calling case 2457743, people of the state of Michigan versus Calvin Cortez Craig. In the discharge from count 1 homicide, murder, first degree premeditated. Count 2 weapons, firearms, possession by felon. Count 3 carrying a concealed weapon. Count 4 and 5 felony firearm. Defendant has a habitual criminal court defense law, mandatory 25-year sentence. Appearances for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sarah Bonilla on behalf of the people, PA 4189.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christina Costantino, P79668, appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Kelvin Craig, who is present and standing to my left.
Tell me your name, sir. Here's the date, time, set for preliminary examination. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many witnesses will it be?
4, Your Honor. 2 civilians and 2 officers.
Do you have any preliminary matters for fellow witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, I just would like to place on the record that last Friday, I was provided with some pretty substantial amount of additional discovery, and I just would like the record to reflect that I did receive several photos, videos, phone dumps, search warrant returns, search warrants, and several other pieces of additional discovery that I was not provided prior to the first few days of the preliminary examination. I have no requests in that regard, but I do want the record to reflect that.
All right, that being said, are there witnesses?
Your Honor, at this time, people call Aaliyah Moore.
Okay. Now, please step forward, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand, man. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Please have a seat in the witness box next to you. I have to ask that you keep your voice up and speak into that microphone that's going to be to your left once you have a seat, okay? And let me also let you know that you are not going to be, your image will not be shown on YouTube.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually. Can you please restate your name again for the record? Ms. Moore, I want to take you back to June 12th, 2024. Were you at the location 11373 Sussex in Detroit?
Yes.
What's at that location?
My house.
At the time you were living there at that house?
Yes.
Okay. Who was living there with you?
Me, Calvin.
When you say Calvin, do you see that individual in court?
Yes.
Can you please point to that individual and just state something they are wearing? color?
Calvin green.
You said, say it again, it's a real loud, so I don't.
That's Calvin, he's my green.
Okay, Your Honor, may the record reflect identification of the defendant?
So moved.
And who else was staying there with you at that time?
My sister Jaden.
Okay, what's Jaden's last name?
I really don't know her last name.
Okay, does she go by any other names?
Yes,
Okay, does she go by Reagan Landers?
yes,
Okay. Now, on that date, June 12th, did you speak to officers when they went to your home?
yes,
Okay, were they executing a search warrant at that time?
yes,
Did they show you something like a picture?
yes.
Yeah. Your Honor, may I approach?
Okay.
Any new people's proposed exhibit 9? Want you to take that? Does that photo look familiar?
Yes,
Okay. Is that the photo that you were shown by police officers on June 12th?
yes,
Is there writing on that picture?
yes,
Okay, and is there a signature on the picture?
yes, it's mine.
That's your signature? Okay. Does this picture and the writing, does that fairly and accurately depict the photo that you were shown and your handwriting on that photo on June 12th? Okay, Your Honor, people move to admit it was exhibit 9.
Any objection?
Oh, no objection.
Any
For
minute?
exam purposes only.
Any minute?
And Your Honor, people move to publish.
Yes. Understood.
You can show. I'm gonna have to do that. Can you read what's on this photo?
Yes,
Okay, can you read it out loud for me?
you know what this is? I say yes, that's Calvin goes by night.
Okay, what
And
else?
all of it,
Yes, please.
he gave me one of those, I can't really see the handwriting.
Okay. That's fine. It's a minute. So, did you identify this individual in the photo? And who did you identify next?
That's Calvin.
Okay, and that's the individual that you identified in court today? Okay. What specifically, just about the picture at this time, what about the picture, made you believe that that was Calvin?
His top part of his body,
Explain that to me. What do you mean his top part of his body?
is bigger than the bottom.
Okay, so his body,
Yes,
Okay.
he's 10 years old, you can tell how he run on one foot, because it was injured.
okay. Starting, what about the clothing?
Just a little, yes.
Just a little?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the clothing?
I didn't know him at that time, so.
Okay. Oh, have you seen any of that clothing before? That you
Yeah,
believe was clothing? Okay, what?
the shirt,
Okay. Were you also shown a video by a police officer on a separate date?
yes,
Your Honor, may I approach the People's Exhibit 4 that's already been admitted and published, the last? Actually, can I share my screen, Your Honor?
Oh.
Hang on. Ms. Moore, if you can look at the screen, this is People's Exhibit 4. I'm not gonna play the entire video. I'm gonna stop it, but I'm gonna show you a portion of it, okay? So I'm starting the video at 3 minutes and 53 seconds. I'm gonna stop this video at 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Is this the video that you watched with the police officer?
yes,
Did you identify an individual from this video?
yes,
Okay, who did you identify?
Calvin,
Where's Calvin at in this video? What's he wearing?
the green, the shirt.
Okay. From this video, can you kind of go through why you believe that it was Calvin?
The way he stepped on his foot.
Okay, so the way he's stepping on his foot, you said I think he's pigeon-toed.
Yeah, like he had an injury on his foot,
He had a what on his
an
foot?
injury,
Okay. So you've seen him kind of walk at a pace like that before?
yeah,
Okay, so that looks familiar. What else?
his body.
Okay. Describe it to me again, how you describe like
His
his
top half is more muscular.
Okay, then his lower half? Okay. What else? Okay. From the photo, back to the photo, did you recognize anything else about his clothing besides his shirt?
No.
On this photo, so can you read where it says answer? It said, this is Calvin clothes by night owl. His shirt gave me the one in this photo. His shoes, his watch, his tech one's right on.
Yes.
Okay, he walks away from vision to walk.
Objection, Your Honor, was there a question there? I'm not sure I understood what the question or the answer was.
Just confirming that's what was on there on the exhibit. I mean, everybody can read it, I just read it.
Was there a question?
No,
You don't get to make statements.
yeah, okay, okay. All right, you were also shown another video by now, so I'm gonna pull that up, and you're gonna may I publish people's exhibits since it's already been admitted.
Yes.
I'm gonna start this video about like 3:49. I'm gonna start. I'll stop the video at 4 minutes. Were you shown this video by a police officer?
Yes.
Okay, did you recognize anyone in the video?
Yes. Calvin going to the park.
Okay, what's Calvin wearing?
He green shirt.
Okay, when you say go into the car, do you recognize that car?
Yeah, from his boss work van.
His boss's work van, so you've seen Calvin before in that car?
Yeah, the work truck is.
Okay. And then lastly, you were shown another video, which share my screen to play People's Exhibit 8, which has been admitted, published.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna start it at 8 minutes and 21 seconds. Does this video look familiar? Will you show this video?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play it just for a couple seconds. Stopping it at 8 minutes and 24 seconds. Did you recognize that truck in the video? Okay, how did you recognize that truck?
Right. It's our face color.
Okay.
I can't hear you now.
I said that gray dark color, that's what the work van working.
When you say they work it, who's they?
Calvin and his boss.
Okay, do you know his boss's name?
Yes, please.
Okay, so they work together, and have you seen this truck before?
Yes, but they work on house.
Talk a little bit louder, just so I can hear you.
Yes, because they work on house and take care of materials and stuff.
Okay. Okay, so now I want to take you back to June 12th, when they're at your house and executing a search warrant. Your Honor, can I approach your exhibit from that?
Yes.
So I want to take you back to when you're talking to the police and they're executing a search warrant. What were you feeling at this time? When you're talking to the police?
I was confused.
Okay. Were you pregnant at the time?
I was,
Okay. Now, are you still living at that location?
you know,
Why not?
because they turned. the
Objection,
water-
relevance.
Why is it relevant?
Well, Your Honor, it just goes to what the defendant's actions are, what's taking place, and there's jail calls, and I'm gonna ask her about the jail calls, where he speaks to her about this, about sharing discovery, everything. So I'm asking her what happened in the house, chance of
I'll
that?
give you some facts.
Okay. Just briefly then, so in the home, what was shut off?
The water and the lights,
Okay. Was anybody from the defendant's family coming over to that location?
yes.
Okay. When they were coming over to the location, how were you feeling about that?
I don't know, it was different emotions and feelings.
Did you feel threatened?
Yeah,
Did the defendant ever call you from jail?
yes.
Okay. What were some of the things he was asking you or talking to you about, please?
The case and how we talked also about my child.
Did you have your child at that time?
Yes.
When he called you, were you in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And what was he saying about the case?
Yeah, it wasn't him,
Was he asking you to do anything?
not to come to court.
Okay. Nothing.
Cross-examine.
Good afternoon. So I'm gonna ask you a little bit about, your relationship with Kelvin, Mr. Craig, okay? You didn't know him back on July 24th of 2022, correct?
This is, no.
No, right. Sorry, could you just try to speak up, maybe it's
No.
with the plastic, but it's hard to hear, okay?
No.
And you told police that he was an uncle to you, right?
He was something like, I said I was calling him uncle, yes.
Okay, but you actually have a sexual relationship with him,
Yes,
right?
he did.
Okay. Is it true that Kelvin might even be the father of your child?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Miss Moore.
So it's fair to say that you did not see Mr. Craig on July 24th of 2022.
no.
When you talked to police, flash forward 2 years later, on June 12th of 2024, you didn't even know Mr. Craig's last name, correct? Sorry, was it correct? No, you did not know his last name, or yes, you did know his last
I
name?
don't know his last name for everyone. I just know about what everybody calls him.
You also testified a few minutes ago that your sister Jaden, you didn't know her last name either, right?
Right.
Okay, she's not your real sister though, right?
No.
Okay. How long have you known her?
I know her for years. We grew up together.
So 10 years,
No,
5 years?
about 4.
You lived with Mr. Craig elsewhere before moving into the Sussex house, correct?
Yes.
In fact, you lived with him at several houses, right?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but-
check for relevance about her residential where she was living before this crime took place.
Judge, this is relevant because this witness is allegedly identifying my client. It goes to the
Right, because
nature.
we were naked.
Wait,
Overruled.
Okay. Well, you know, okay, I didn't want to move on. You've never seen Mr. Craig with any firearms, any guns, right?
Mm.
Mr. Craig has never told you anything about a murder or a shooting at a gas station on July 22nd, 2024, correct?
He spoke on stuff, but I never took it serious.
But he never specifically gave you details or told you that he shot someone at the Sunoco gas station on July 24th of
No.
22.
No.
Does the witness need a minute to turn off her phone? No? Okay. And it's fair to say that other than the videos that the detectives and officers in this case have shown you, you don't know anything about any murder that occurred on July 24th of 2022, right? And Mr. Craig never told you that he wore a neon shirt and a vest and shot a man at a gas station, right? I'm sorry, what was that answer?
No,
When you spoke to officers on June 12th of 2024, you told them that you were allowing Mr. Craig, your uncle, to stay at the house on Sussex with you, right?
yeah, we was working on the house, he was working on getting the house by myself, yes.
Okay.
We had a whole deal, yes.
And you told them it was your home, right?
Yes,
But it's not your home.
and it was, yes, it was.
Did you have a
It was for
lease?
me, he got it from me.
Did you have a lease?
No, I did not.
Did you have ownership paperwork of the home?
No, because I didn't have an ID.
Mr. Craig was fixing up the home, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what any other house though, yes.
And Mr. Craig was permitted to live there because he was fixing up the home, right?
Yeah,
And he allowed you to move in with him after you were no longer able to stay with your mother, correct?
that wasn't that house. That was the other house before that, which is on Hartwell, yes.
Okay. About when was that?
Probably back in December.
I believe you told police, and I think you even said today, that Mr. Craig is a handyman, right? He fixes things up. He doesn't work for a commercial company or anything like that though, right? Okay. You've never seen him wear a hard hat or anything like that, right? He doesn't, would you agree with me, he doesn't really have a formal job?
I'm not just speculating, what does that mean? Is it ambiguous, formal job, what does that mean?
I can ask, I'll strike the question and re-ask. In the time that you've known Mr. Craig, you haven't seen him go to a place of employment, having to wear a safety vest, correct? That you've never seen him wear a safety vest, right? You've never seen him wear an orange hat either, have you?
No.
I am going to draw your attention to exhibit number 9, and if you need a copy of that picture, please just let me know. I believe, and you know what, I can just give you one, if that's all right, speed things along. This one actually comes here for this one. You want to make a question with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is the first photo that you were shown by officers outside of the home on Sussex on June 12th, 2024, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were shown this photo on the detective's cell phone, right?
Yes.
And so it was on what, about a 6-inch screen?
No, it was on the laptop, at the thing, they showed this picture, they showed the picture, actual picture.
So let me just make sure this is clear. So when you first spoke with police, it was outside of the home on Sussex, right?
It was in the vehicle, and it was on the same papers like this.
But you also spoke with police outside of the vehicle first, correct?
The person who I spoke to was them, they showed me the paper of the warrant and stuff like that, yes, that's the only time I spoke to them with the officer, yes.
Okay. And Detective Blackwell showed you this photo on his cell phone outside of the police vehicle that day too, correct?
I don't remember that part, no, I remember the paper part, this is what I remember the part.
Okay. When do you remember first seeing a physical piece of paper?
In the car that day of grade.
And you told officers that day that this picture is 100% Mr. Craig, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in this picture, exhibit 9, The individual is wearing a neon orange hat, correct?
Yes,
And that hat covers the individual's eyes, correct?
yes,
It also covers his hair, correct?
yes,
This individual is also wearing a full face covering,
yes,
correct?
yes,
And it's a black face covering, correct? And that face covering covers his nose, correct? I'm sorry, could you answer?
yes,
It also covers his mouth, correct?
Is that yes?
yes,
Looks like it covers his ears as well, correct?
yes,
It's fair to say you cannot see this person's face, correct? I'm sorry.
yes,
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I think it's the plastic, it's kind of hard to hear in this moment. This person in this photo is also wearing a short sleeve shirt, right?
yeah,
And in this photo, there are no visible tattoos on this individual, correct?
correct,
And if I understand correctly, you told officers that this photo looked like how Mr. Craig walked, is that correct?
his whole body gesture, yes, I know his body, really, I seen this man naked plenty of times. I also lived in the same house with this man.
How many times have you seen him run?
What you mean, how many times I see him running? We did have dogs, they used to get loose,
About how many times have you seen him run?
multiple times, plenty of times. I don't count on my fingers, I'm not sure I see a person run.
Do you recall that you told police that in this photo, you recognized Calvin because there was a tattoo?
I know he got a tattoo on his arm, it's a SpongeBob, a doodle.
Okay. Do you recall telling officers that
Yes, I
you?
recall that, yes, I do.
Judge, I'm sorry, if I could just get the question out, I think it would make for a clearer record.
Wait on the question, so you can answer. Wait on the entire question.
Okay, I'm gonna just re-ask the question if that's all right, just to make sure the record is clear. You told officers that you recognized this photo as Mr. Craig because there was a tattoo that matched his tattoos, right?
Yes, I just told you yes.
But there's no tattoo in this photo, correct?
No, but it didn't look like a little slur of it, but okay.
It looks like a swerve of it. Weird.
On his arm.
What part of the arm?
Can I just stop, because I'm starting to look at this, so.
Ma'am, I just need you to answer the question so we can get through this, okay?
It's on his arm, I don't remember where.
She's asking you on the picture,
It looked like it was right here.
okay?
Okay, so and just so the record is clear, I think you just pointed to a front forearm, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And then would that be on the right or left arm?
His right arm.
And what tattoo do you believe Mr. Craig has in that location?
I know he has a doodle on his arm somewhere, I just can't remember where.
Oh, what is it?
A doodle is like a SpongeBob.
Do you remember which arm that tattoo is on?
The right, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, and do you recall if it's on his bicep or forearm?
I don't remember.
When you spoke with police on June 12, 2024, were you under the influence of any alcohol?
No,
Had you been using any drugs that day?
no,
Had you been smoking any marijuana that day?
no,
Had you taken any non-prescription?
no, I was pregnant.
I'm not trying to be combative, I'm just trying to, is
Is there a question or she was
Questions.
talking to the witness at this moment?
She answered your question, next
I
question.
answered the question.
You recall that Mr. Craig also has some tattoos on his fingers, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and those are on the left hand, his left hand, correct?
I don't remember exactly the hand, but I know he got some tattoos on his fingers, yes.
Do you recall that they're on each one of his fingers? But there are multiple tattoos on his fingers, is that what you recall?
Yes, yes, definitely. That's it, question.
Do you recall a tattoo of his that says tiny?
I don't remember what it says.
So it's my understanding that shortly before June 12th, when you talked to police, that you asked Mr. Craig for a big T-shirt. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and he gave you a neon yellow colored shirt, right?
Yes.
And that shirt, as far as you're aware, was in the home at the time that the detectives executed the search warrant, correct?
Yes.
And that shirt was in a laundry basket of yours, correct?
Yes, because I had it on, yes.
There was also a red dye-colored towel in that laundry basket where the shirt was, correct?
I don't remember.
If I showed you a photo of that area, would it refresh your recollection or refresh your memory as to whether it was there or not?
I don't know, because I don't remember the time.
Okay. Sure. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that photo a picture of the Sussex home where you were living?
Yes.
And is that photo a picture of the laundry basket that was in your room? Or that laundry bag that was in your room?
Yes, but that one is not my room, that's my sister's room.
Okay. But you recall that the laundry was in that location on or about June 12th of 2024, correct?
It was in my room when they dumped it, it went over, yes.
Okay, and that photo fairly and accurately shows the Sussex home on June 12th of 2024, right?
Yes.
Okay. There is a red dye-colored towel, it appears in that photo, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, could you explain to me what that is?
it's a towel, it's in a dirty clothes, it looks like.
Okay, at some point, did you use some red dye or coloring to cause it to be that color?
No,
Is that just the color of the towel, or was
it's probably bleach.
the shirt was in the same laundry bag with that towel, correct?
Probably not. Once again, our clothes did get mixed that day.
Your Honor, might I approach to grab the photo?
Sure.
Do you recall there being some red stains on a light switch in your bedroom at the Sussex house?
So what stage?
Red stains on a light switch in your bedroom at the Sussex house?
No. I don't really remember things that said the house was done to the house, to be honest.
If I showed you a photo, would that refresh your memory?
I'm not sure.
Your Honor, might I approach to attempt to refresh your memory?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. All right, there's a red stain on that light switch, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the last thing.
And that's at the Sussex home, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how that got there? When I approach witness and retrieve the exhibit?
Yeah, that was there when we got there then. I don't remember that though.
And just so I'm clear, you did not live in the Sussex house on July 22nd of 2024, right? Or I'm sorry, July 24th of 2022. You did not live in the Sussex house on that date, right? Okay. When Mr. Craig gave you that neon shirt, it had a tag on it still, right?
I don't remember, no.
Did you see where he got that neon shirt from before he gave it to you?
The car,
Which car?
the car that he was in, which was his mother's car. He had gave it to me because I didn't have no shirt to put on after the shower. So I asked him, did he have the shirt? He said yes.
What kind of car was it that he got the shirt out of?
I don't know what kind of car it was, I just know it was another car and it was black.
Was it a truck or
It
a?
was a van or whatever you want to call it. It's not a truck, so it's not a big truck.
Fair to say it wasn't a black Dodge Ram, right? You told police at some point that you heard Kelvin talk about a person named Devontae. You said that, right?
Yeah, but I know he has a lot of family members, yes, I heard him talk about names before, yes, I did say.
You also know Mr. Craig has a brother whose name is Devontae, right?
As a brother named Devontae?
Yes.
No.
Do you recall Mr. Craig ever talking to you about his brother?
No, I just know about the brothers, which is his brother from his dad's property. That's it.
When you told police that you heard Mr. Craig talk about someone named Devontae, do you believe that was likely one of his family members?
I'm not sure, so I won't put a name to it, because I'm sure.
Are you aware whether he has any family member named Devontae?
No.
I believe you testified on direct about Mr. Craig's boss picking him up in a truck. Do you recall what make or model of truck that was that he would be picked up in?
F-150. I'm not sure what exactly type, I know that's what I'm used to calling them type of trucks, I think all of them trucks are the same. If you ask me, I'm not too big of a fan of cars, so I'm not good at calling cars out by their looks and stuff, I'm not.
I think you testified previously that it was a dark gray color truck that he would be picked up in for work, is that right?
Yes, it's dark. So you can't tell if it's black or gray, if it's a dark gray or it's black.
Did that truck have any distinguishing marks on it? Any, and I can elaborate if you need to, but any distinguishing marks on it?
And I don't really know gray, but
There wasn't any damage to that truck, correct? When you saw that truck, both headlights worked, right?
yeah.
And when you saw Mr. Craig get picked up in that truck, it was in when, 2024?
Yeah.
Not in 2022, correct? How many times did you see Mr. Craig get picked up in a truck?
Multiple times, that's his boss, he works. He was working on houses a lot, I seen him multiple times in that truck.
Would you say more than 5?
Yes, more than five, most definitely more than five,
More than 10?
more than 10.
More than 15?
Yes, I seen the truck a lot.
Would he get both picked up and dropped off in that truck?
It depends, some days, yes.
Okay. You were shown some videos on direct examination. But when you told officers that you recognized this photo in Exhibit 9 as Mr. Craig,
Yes.
you were first shown this photo before any video, correct? Okay, so when you said it looks like he's walking pigeon-toed, that was just on a photo, correct?
I said that when I seen the video of it, but, I know how he walks, yes, I know that picture is him for sure, I know his body, all of that, I know Kel, I can call him off and all, but yes, I know Kel. I say it was him.
All right, do you know how much he weighed on July, about how much he weighed on July
I don't know
20th?
his weight and stuff, that's not what I'm worried about.
Your Honor, I need to be able to ask the full question before getting interrupted, if the court could possibly
You're
interrupt the
asking me
witness.
multiple questions at once, that's what you're doing, and I'm answering it for you.
Just wait on the question. Counsel, one question at a time.
You indicated that you know his body,
Yes,
but you did not know his body back on July 24th of 2022, did you?
no,
Because you didn't know him then, right?
No.
So you don't know how much he weighed then?
no, and I don't even know how much my baby daddy weighs, so what makes a difference?
You don't know how tall he was then?
What you mean? Like, no, he's the same Kelvin.
You
He's a
testified.
man, okay? He's a man. I know Kelvin. I see his body naked, all of that. I'm answering your questions how you want me to answer them, so I'm gonna answer them. I'm answering. I know Kelvin from a mile fucking way. He's tall. He's a grown man. He's not growing no more.
Ma'am, watch your language, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You testified on direct about Calvin, Mr. Craig having an injury to his foot,
Yes.
correct? Do you know when he got that injury to his foot?
No, I know it was a while back before I knew.
But you don't know if he had an injury to his foot on July 24th of 2022, correct?
His fetus was still injured. It's a lifelong injury.
But you didn't know him on July 22nd of 2024,
Right,
right?
it's a lifelong. If
Yeah,
it
that's
happened
right.
right back then and he's still having problems with his foot then, like he always had been, he's always had a problem with his foot. That's what he explained to me himself.
Let's try it this way. Do you know when he got that injury?
No, he didn't explain that to me, no. He said he had it for a while, though. It's been a while since he had that injury.
All right.
Thank you, Your I think I understand. You testified on direct that you felt threatened because Mr. Craig's family was coming over the Sussex house after he was arrested, correct?
Yes.
But you actually texted Mr. Craig's brother, Paco, saying, thank you for picking up my package, correct?
Yeah, because he had picked up my package, and that's before all of that happened, before any of all that extra stuff after the call. His call came after that stuff. After my package, yes, I thanked his brother for picking up my package and putting it in the house. I did, but it was before the phone call and stuff and before he knew everything that was going on, yes.
But at the time that you thanked him, Mr. Craig was incarcerated on this offense, right?
Yes, he was incarcerated, yes, but it's before all this came about, yes.
You also texted Mr. Craig's brother threatening Mr. Craig's mother, correct?
Yeah, because of the phone calls I was getting and stuff, yes.
And you threatened physical violence on his mother, correct?
I said I would smack her, yes, if I keep being threatened, yes, I did. Very correct.
Did you threaten any other family members of Mr. Craig's?
No.
Did you actually see his mother?
Did I see his mother? I see his mother plenty of times, yes, but I didn't see her enough to do what I said I was gonna do.
After Mr. Craig was arrested, did you see his mother?
Once,
That could happen. Oh. Nothing further.
You hear me, Director?
Just briefly, Your Honor. Defense counsel asked you about, did the defendant tell you that he murdered someone at a gas station? And I believe your response was, he spoke on some stuff, but you didn't believe him.
yeah,
What were you talking about? What was he speaking on?
we were just speaking on stuff that we did in the.
Did he tell you he did something?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness was still answering when the second question was being asked.
Okay, go ahead.
We were just speaking on stuff that we did and the stuff that we've been through, yes, we were speaking on that. But I also don't tell him as a joke, so I used to take stuff that he said was as a joke.
Did he tell you that he murdered someone?
He said he murdered people, yes, but he didn't give exact names and stuff, no. But when he said that, you would think that he's joking, okay, that's what type of person he is.
Okay, nothing further.
Sorry, no.
So, let me make sure I understand. How long were you in a relationship with?
He wasn't in a relationship, no,
How long have you known him?
probably like 3 years, I don't know,
So you knew him prior to July 24th,
Yeah.
2022?
Oh, no, I don't think I knew, I don't think I knew, I'm not sure.
Because we're in 2024 now.
Yeah.
So if you've known him for 3 years, you've known him since 2021? So you didn't know him on July 24th, 2022?
No,
So do you recall when the defendant was arrested?
for this, yes.
When was that?
I remember it was like in July, I'm pretty sure, it was right the day before we got raided,
When was that? July of this year?
yes.
Okay. Were you in a relationship with the defendant
No,
at that time?
no,
When did your relationship, oh, because you said you were never in a
we
relationship,
was never in a relationship,
but you said that you had somewhat of an intimate relationship.
yes,
right?
for money,
When did that end?
probably, the last time was probably like 3 weeks before he did get arrested.
Now, you said that you guys had lived together?
Yeah.
All right. Had you ever seen any clothing consistent with the clothing that you see in People's Exhibit 9?
No.
You never saw him with that kind of shirt before?
I seen him with the shirt, but like, I don't think it's the same shirt, or if it was, I'm not sure,
All right. Never seen that kind of hat before?
no.
Had you ever seen the defendant with the gun before?
No.
Did anyone else live with you besides the defendant?
Yes.
Who?
My sister.
Questions based on my question?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may start. Next witness, please.
Yeah, at this time, people call Jaden Bolender. She's in the back. She was a cane.
It'll be Braden Landers.
Yeah, AKA.
You have her name as well?
Yes, I have everyone's name.
Okay, now please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat in the spots next to me. Voice look nice and loud, speaking to that microphone and looking to your right. Okay, when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Jaden Bollinger.
Okay. Say it one more time.
Jaden Bollinger.
Okay. I want to take you back to June 12th of 2024. Were you at or near 11373 Sussex in Detroit?
Yes.
Were you living there at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And who were you living there with at that time?
Aaliyah Moore.
Okay. And was there anyone else that would stay at the home?
Yes, Calvin.
Okay. What's Calvin's last name?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you see that individual in court today?
Yes.
Can you point to that individual and state something they are wearing, color?
Green.
Okay. Can you point to him? So we know. Remember, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant?
So no,
Okay. On June 12th of 2024, you spoke to police officers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. When you spoke to the police officers, what name did you give the police?
I gave them Raven Andrews
Okay. Why?
because I was scared. I didn't want anything to happen to me.
When you say you're scared, what were you scared of?
What could happen to me?
What do you, okay,
I knew it was a homicide case going on and I was scared. I didn't want my real name and something happens to me potentially because I was talking.
okay. Now, when you say you're talking to the police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did the police show you a photo on that date?
Yes.
Okay. Did you sign that photo?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Your Honor, may I approach?
amen.
Can you people propose exhibit 10? Can you look at this photo for me? Is that the photo that you were shown on June 12th,
Yes.
2024?
Yes.
Is there writing on this photo?
Yes, there is.
Did you sign this photo?
Yes.
Okay, how'd you sign it? What name did you sign it
The Raven.
with? Okay. Does this photo and the writing and your signature, does that fairly and accurately depict the photo and writing on the day on June 12th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, people move to omit people's exhibit 10.
No objection for exam purposes only.
Amen.
And Your Honor, people move to publish.
Yes.
And then can you just read the writing on this, please, on exhibit 10?
Yes. I said, I think this is Calvin because the clothes in the photo, I think, because it's all scrambled up, like my writing.
Just read it exactly how it's written on there. Don't have to correct grammar or anything like that, but
I said, I think this is Calvin because the clothes this man in the photo looks very familiar. The watch I've seen Calvin have on his wrist looks the same. His build is also equivalent to Calvin's.
okay. And you signed that document?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also talk to a police officer and were you shown a video?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, may I share my screen?
Yes.
This is People's Exhibit 4. I'm gonna start this video at 3:55. I'm gonna play it for a couple seconds. I'm not gonna show the whole thing, okay? I'm gonna stop the video at 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Did you identify an individual in this video with a police officer?
Yes.
Okay. Who did you identify?
I identified it as Calvin.
Okay, what was Calvin wearing in this video?
Wearing neon green like t-shirt, the vest, hat. Looks like camel pants and
Okay, did you recognize the Nike shoes? Have you seen him wear those before?
but I have seen the vest and I've seen a neon t-shirt and shirt.
Okay, let's go piece by piece. Where did you first see the neon shirt? Where did you see that at?
In the car in his car, pretty sure it's his car.
But you're not sure, just
Not
you see it in the
100%
video.
sure, but in a vehicle, in the driveway, Aaliyah had asked for a shirt, because she just got out the shower. I went down, that's when she had a shirt, grabbed it from the trunk, it was in the trunk of the car, the neon shirt was in the trunk of the car, that's where I saw that shirt.
Okay. What about, you said you observed the vest before?
The vest was in there too, but it was not the same day, it was the same day that I saw the neon shirt.
What day did you see the neon shirt? Do you remember?
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Okay. Compared to when police showed up at your house to when you observed the shirt, like a month, 2 months?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Can you just give us a time?
I'll just ask you this, was it this year that you?
It was before the police came to the house. It was like, I'll say 2 weeks before, I think, it was like 2 weeks before.
Okay. What about the vest? When did you see the vest?
The vest was in the house in his room.
When you say his room, who was,
Calvin.
okay. And how many times have you observed that vest?
When I walked past it, like, I wasn't in the room, I wasn't in Calvin's room, but I walked past the doors open. I saw it, just in.
Okay. Okay, so I want to take you back to when you're talking to police officers on June 12th of 2024. Did you speak with a police officer in a scout car?
It was an unmarked car, but yes.
Okay, what were you feeling at that time?
I was honestly scared because Calvin's brother, if I'm not mistaken, he came onto the scene and his demeanor, he was a little like, hostile, seemed a little upset.
Okay,
And so I was like, I didn't really want to answer the questions right there while he was right there coming towards the car.
okay.
So I was a little scared.
Are you still living in that house?
No,
Why not?
because it's been too much going
Objection, Your
on.
Honor, relevant.
Your Honor, this is homicide first degree, so we can look to what the defendant does before, during, and after an incident takes place. And that's what I'm going towards as far as what's going on afterwards when the defendant's in custody for homicide, what's going on at his house that he's sharing with the 2 witnesses that are just speaking to the police officers. It's very relevant, Your Honor.
The
How
de-
many would like to?
Why couldn't you live in the home anymore?
I did not want to live in the home because the water got cut off on us, the air got cut off on us when it was 90 degrees, couldn't shower, none of that. And then it was like a couple days after the police came and raided the house, a black car, I don't know, like a black truck,
Okay,
came and sat in the driveway. We called the police, we called the Detroit police, we left a message to the detective. And the police had came, the car had left, and then another day, nobody goes out the back door, nobody went out the back door, we don't use the back door. We came back to the home, the front door was open, it was wide open, and the back door was wide open, so I didn't feel comfortable staying there anymore.
okay. Nothing further.
Prosecutor?
Good afternoon.
Okay, so you spoke with the police several times about this. You spoke with police several times about this alleged incident, correct?
Correct.
The first time you spoke with police was on June 12th of 2024, correct?
Correct.
And you spoke with police outside of a police car, outside of this home on Sussex, correct?
We spoke, but we didn't really talk.
Right, but you were on the sidewalk speaking to, I believe it was Detective Blackwell, correct?
Correct.
And at that time, you told Detective Blackwell that your name was Raven Landers, right?
Correct.
You then went into a police car with Detective Blackwell and spoke further with
No,
him.
I did not get into a police car with him. It was another lady that got into the car with, I don't remember.
A female officer.
Correct.
And you told that female officer that your name was Raven Landers, correct?
Correct.
You then went in and talked a third time to police on June 25th, 2024, correct?
Correct.
And that was inside the safety of the Detroit Police Department, correct?
Correct. Wait, no, we were not at the Detroit Police Department. We were at this building downtown. I forgot what it's called, but we weren't at the Detroit Police Department. We were downtown.
Right, and you were in an interview room, just you and an officer, right?
Correct.
No one else was there or could have heard what you were saying, right?
Correct.
And you told that officer, again, your name is Raven Landers.
Correct.
And then on June 13th, 2024, you testified under oath that your name was Raven Landers, right?
Can you repeat that?
On June 13th, 2024, you testified under oath that your name was Raven Landers.
I don't remember testifying. Oh, like, what does that mean, raising my hand saying I am? I don't remember doing that.
So I'm gonna stipulate to an investigative subpoena where she would have been placed under.
Okay.
It's not in court, and that's what.
All right.
Okay. And then ask a couple more questions about that. You were over Zoom, is that right?
No, wait. It was a phone call. I had a phone call. I was on Zoom, but I was on the phone call.
Okay, you were over the phone and you were told to swear the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? And you said your name was Raven Landers to that.
Correct.
You told police that you have seen Mr. Craig about 3 times, right? So after seeing him about 3 times, your testimony is this is, the person in this photo is Mr. Craig, right?
From the 3 times that I saw him, yes, I think that's him. It looks like him. Yes, I told him that.
But you didn't know Mr. Craig on July 24th, 2022, right?
July when?
July 24th, 2022.
No, I did not know.
In fact, you've only known him for about 2 months.
Actually, I don't know Calvin at all. We crossed paths three times. So I don't know him. I really don't know him at all. But never mind.
So fair to say that you don't know if he wears a neon hat, orange hat like this, right?
I've seen, when I saw Calvin the 3 times, every time he's had a hat on.
Has it been neon orange?
I haven't seen him in a neon nor orange hat.
You testified about seeing the vest in this photo, exhibit 10 in the home. And you,
I'm gonna object, that's not what she testified to, is seeing that vest, she just said a vest. Want to clarify a little more.
sure, no problem. I believe your testimony was that you saw a vest in the home on Sussex, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
What color was that vest?
Neon green. Neon, like a neon green.
A different color than the vest in this photo, right?
It was a neon green vest like that with the orange. It was, I can't tell you if it's the same vest. I genuinely don't know. But it was a vest similar like that, looked like that.
Where did you see that at?
I saw that in his room.
We were at in his room specifically.
if I can remember correctly, on the bed or either the chair by the bed. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but I remember seeing it because this was 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Well, three months ago?
You've never seen him wear a vest out of the house though, right?
No, not in the house.
And you've never seen him wear a vest outside of the house?
When he's in his car and he goes to work, he wears a vest.
How many times have you seen him get in his car wearing a vest?
I can't sit here and tell you about how many times I saw him. I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Let's talk about the neon shirt. Were you the person that got the neon shirt from Mr. Craig?
Yes,
The shirt still had a tag on it at that time, right?
yes, and what?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay. There was a Foreman Mills tag on it, right?
Correct.
Was it your understanding that was a new shirt?
From what I thought, yes.
And you saw Mr. Craig get it out of the back of his vehicle, or a vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And it had some stains already on it when he pulled it out of that vehicle, right?
Correct.
Would you describe those stains as brown smudge stains?
Yes, they're like on the back of the shirt.
On the back of the shirt?
If I'm not mistaken, yes, it's the back of the shirt.
You didn't see any bright red stains on that shirt though, right?
No,
When you spoke to police on June 12th of 2024, were you under the influence of any alcohol?
no,
Were you under the influence of any drugs?
no,
Were you smoking any marijuana that day?
no,
Using any non-prescribed medication?
no,
When you spoke to police outside of Sussex on June 12th, 2024, you were with Ms. Moore, right?
when I spoke to the police, no, they put us in separate cars.
When you very first spoke to police, you were on the sidewalk outside of the Sussex home, right?
Yes,
And Ms. Moore was also on the sidewalk with you, right?
she was outside with me, but when they spoke to us, they made us separate.
But you did talk to officers on the sidewalk first, before you separated into the cars, right?
Yes,
And you heard what she said to officers while you were on the sidewalk, right?
no,
Do you recall talking with her and officers on the sidewalk?
we did talk, but we weren't talking about what was going on with the house. So I'm getting confused, honestly. I'm getting confused.
Okay. Are you confused about whether you talked to officers?
No, I know we talked, but when they were questioning us, we were separated. Like, when they were asking us questions about what's going on, they separated us. But when we were together, they weren't asking questions about what was going on, is what I'm saying.
I could have a minute. Nothing further for this witness.
Just briefly, when you say that you observed the defendant 3 times, is that total? So would you see him come and go out of the house more than that? Or was that just 3 times?
I encountered him 3 times,
No, describe an encounter, what does that mean?
conversate 3 times, but past the house, I would stay in the room. He would do what he would do in the house, leave. I wasn't open, the door wasn't open, I wasn't looking at him, I was minding my business. So, that we had an encounter talk probably about 3 times, but him bypassing me, he was barely there, he wouldn't really be in the house. From my knowledge, I thought he was going to work.
Okay, but you've seen him more than 3 times already.
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Correct.
In passing, how many times would you say that you've seen him?
Objection asked and answered, Your Honor.
I can answer.
Yes.
I was saying, because I wasn't at the house for too long, 2 weeks, so eight times maybe, like, that's just a rough estimate.
Okay,
I couldn't tell you exact.
okay, that makes sense, yeah.
You say you saw the defendant, he would go to work, is that right?
I said, he will be leaving out to go, so I thought to go to work, I don't know what,
And when he left out to go to work, he would be wearing the vest?
correct,
And the vest that you saw him wearing was similar to the vest shown to you in Exhibit 10?
correct.
You know where he worked?
No, I was told housing.
Any questions based on my question?
No, Your Honor.
I have one question. You said just now that you saw him wearing the vest when he would leave the house to go to work. That was in 2024, correct?
Yes, it's here.
That's correct.
Thank you, Ms. Are we releasing this witness?
Yes, and I did email, Mr.
That's not.
Okay, thank you.
What do I do with this?
So just mine. Might I approach to retrieve my copy?
So Your Honor, just to, did she walk out the front door then, or does she have to go back?
She was brought over.
So they just brought her in.
How was she brought over? Wayne County or Detroit? Bring up this, this traffic. Language. Yeah, it's got a phone down
Next one.
Your Honor, this time we'll call Ron Hayes.
Have his name as well?
Yes.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Please have a seat for witness box next to you. May begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
So Ron Haynes,
And where are you currently employed at?
City of Detroit with the Detroit Police Department,
Okay, in what capacity?
motorized technician.
Were you employed at capacity on July 24th of 2022? Oh,
Yes,
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
I was.
24, July 24th, 2024.
yes,
Did you have work on that date?
yes.
Were you by yourself or with a partner?
I'll go myself.
Did your duties take you to 11373 Sussex in Detroit?
Yes,
Can you describe that scene?
I was residents, fairly unfurnished, but upstairs, second floor, a pretty dwelling, residential area.
Did you take photos of that location?
I did.
All right, Your Honor, may I approach?
Ma'am,
Name people's proposed exhibits 13A, 13I. Can you go through those photos and let me know if those look familiar?
Yes,
Okay. Is that a portion of some of the photos that you took at that location?
yes,
Okay, did they fairly and accurately depict the photos that you took on that day?
yes,
Okay, Your Honor, people move to admit people's exhibit 13A through I.
any objection?
No objection for exam purposes only.
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yes.
Okay, let's just briefly go through these, starting with 13A. Can you describe what we're looking at here?
this would be the first bedroom, which would be on the left-hand side, the staircase, and pile of clothing inside of it.
Okay. 13B, what's the focus on this picture?
The yellow or neon shirt and on the top of the bottom.
Is this shirt inside out?
Yes,
Okay. Turning to 13C, can you just describe what we're looking at here?
that would be that same shirt from 13B moved outside of the room, inside of the hallway, and still inside out. It's just a more clear picture of the shirt.
Okay. 13D, what are we looking at here?
I believe that's the back of the shirt.
Is it still inside out?
Yes, kind of difficult to tell from these photos, but I believe this is still inside out.
Okay. And then 13B. What are we looking at here?
This would be the shirt, same shirt. Flipped right way.
Okay. Turning to 13F. What is this showing us? What is this photo of?
Just one of those many stains that were on the shirt.
Okay, just a close-up of it.
Yes.
Yes,
13G, same thing. What are we looking at here?
just more of a mid-range photo of how many stains were on the shirt.
Okay. 13H, is the shirt now the right way? Right way?
Yes, yes,
So it's no longer inside out?
correct.
Okay. And then lastly, 13I.
That would be the back side of the shirt.
Okay. And it's no longer inside out, correct?
Correct.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Council Grant?
Good afternoon.
So,
When you took these photos, specifically 13A and 13B, was the shirt laying in that position when you first, when you first arrived in the Sussex home, was that shirt laying in that position?
that was the way I discovered the shirt.
Okay. Do you know whether it had been moved to that position or whether it was in a laundry basket prior to your arrival?
I do not.
And these photos were taken about 2 years after the alleged shooting, right?
Sure, yes.
The shirt that's photographed in these photos, it had no markings on the sleeves, correct?
What do you mean by markings?
So were there any black logos on the shirt?
I do not, no, it's a plain neon yellow shirt.
Okay, so there weren't any black marks, say, on the left sleeve of the shirt?
Such as insignias or something else sort of?
A large size black mark, nothing of that sort, right?
No, not that I recall.
And same thing on the right sleeve, no black mark on that either, correct?
Correct.
And there wasn't a black mark on the bottom of the shirt either, right?
No, not that I recall.
There weren't any neon vests that were found in the home, right?
I did not collect any neon vests.
You didn't photograph any neon vests?
No,
Okay, and you didn't photograph any black Nikes with a white swoosh, right?
no,
And you didn't photograph any orange hats, correct?
no, I did not.
And you didn't photograph any black watches either, right?
No, I did not.
Okay, you did take some photos, however, of, a light switch in the hallway of the home. Do you recall that?
If I can see the photos in.
Okay, could I approach to refresh his recollection?
Grant?
You could just look up at me if once your recollection is better.
Okay.
Okay, so you took a photo of a light cover in the Sussex home, correct?
This is one of my photos, yes.
Okay, and that light cover had a red stain on it, right?
Yes,
And that's why I assume you took the picture of the light cover, right?
yes, it's difficult. Is there an additional photo that you have of this?
I don't, I can pull it up and zoom,
Okay,
if that would be.
but yes, this is a light switch with a red stain on it.
Okay, and you took the photo because of the red stain, right?
Yes,
You also took some photos of a door with a red stain, correct?
may I be refreshed?
Sure. Is this on Zoom screen? Oh, yeah, I just. Okay, might I approach, Your Honor?
Right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, so you took, I'm sorry, did I refresh your recollection?
yes,
Okay, and you took a photo of a red stain on a door frame in the Sussex home, correct?
yeah, there was a stain on the door, yes.
Okay, and for what reason did you take that photo?
Usually any stains that appear to be, could be related or maybe suspected blood stains, we may take an initial photo of it. Well, after examination, visually, they may be determined not to be such a blood stain. If that is a red stain, that is.
In the first exhibit, 13A, there was an item that has red stains all over it, right next to the neon yellow shirt. Is that a fair statement?
In 13A,
Yes,
we're talking about the item directly above it.
yes.
It appears to be a shirt with red stain on a shirt.
Okay, and the neon shirt was right next to that item with red stains on it, correct?
Yes, it's right below it.
Nothing further.
Either you agree?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you testified that you took some pictures of some stains on that shirt, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why were pictures of the stains taken?
Anytime, it's just a fair practice that anytime there are stains on an item, that they're taken just so we can further enhance the quality, that, stain through, photography.
Were any of these stains suspected blood stains?
Not that I saw, the item was sent to MSB, for further examination.
Any questions based on my question?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir, you may start. Any other witnesses?
One more, Your Honor.
Okay.
The Officer Blackwell.
You swear or to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please restate your name again for the record?
Yeah, police officer Eric Blackwell,
Where are you currently employed at?
Detroit Police Department,
For how long?
almost 13 years.
And were you the officer in charge of this case?
Yes, I am.
Okay, did you have the opportunity to speak with the defendant in this case?
Yes, I did.
Do you see that individual in court?
Yes, I do.
Can you please point to that individual and state something they are wearing?
Green.
You already made the record reflect identification of the defendant.
So no,
And on what day did you have the opportunity to speak to the defendant?
June 12, 2024.
Okay, did you advise him of his rights?
I did.
How did you do that?
I had him read them out loud verbally. and acknowledge and sign next to each individual right, making sure that he understood his constitutional rights.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I'm handing you People's Proposed Exhibit 11. Does this look familiar?
Yes, it does.
How does that look familiar?
That is a copy of Mr. Craig's constitutional rights that he signed and acknowledged.
Okay. And does that fairly naturally depict the constitutional rights that you used with the defendant?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, people move to omit People's Exhibit 11.
No objection for exam purposes only.
And then,
And Your Honor, people, well, unless the court wants it, do you want me to move to publish? Do you want to see a copy of it or? Okay. Now, did the defendant, I think you already stated this, but did he read his rights out loud?
He did.
Okay. Did he sign next to each one?
He did.
Did he appear coherent?
Yes, he did.
Did he appear under the influence
No, he did not.
of any drugs or alcohol?
No, he did not.
Was his speech slurred in any kind of way?
No.
To your knowledge, did he knowingly speak to you voluntarily?
He did.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I would turn to the witness defense counsel. She wants to.
or the voluntaries.
On that date, did you ask Mr. Craig whether he had drank any alcohol that day?
I don't recall specifically. I know that's something I normally do ask, but on this particular day, I don't recall specifically.
Did you ask him if he had taken any controlled substances that day?
Same thing, I don't recall specifically. It's normally a routine question that I do ask at the time that I've been doing this. It's a routine, regularly asked question.
When he was brought into custody, was he in handcuffs?
I was not there when he was actually arrested.
He was obviously under arrest though, right? Not free to leave.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Judge, I don't have anything further to respond to this.
The court will make a finding that the statement was knowingly and voluntarily. May proceed.
Did the defendant tell you what kind of work he does?
He was a contractor.
Did he tell you how he gets to work?
Either a Mercury Mountaineer, a white Ford F-150, or a black Dodge Ram.
Okay. And in your investigation and being the officer in charge of this case, did you ever, when you pulled his name, does he have a CPL?
No, he does not.
Okay. And Your Honor, at this time, I would move to publish the jail calls that were already admitted. That would be. People's Exhibit 14. Your Honor, may I share my screen?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna play jail calls. There'll be 8 of them. They're on the left-hand side. It's a total of 8 minutes.
Okay.
May I sit for this, Your Honor?
Sure.
Your Honor, starting with the first jail call, it's gonna be 81. I'm gonna start this at 2:51.
That's crazy. I ain't been to the house. I rode past there yesterday. Mama told me don't go over there yet. She gonna figure out something. She about to make somebody move in over there.
That's what she got to do. Somebody gonna have to go over there because she ain't gonna think broke. How would you think you gonna put me and this motherfucker on fake ass pretenses and think you about to sit there and have my house? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, she called me twice saying that you did something. Talking about you killed somebody named Dante and y'all still don't know what's going on. She act like she clueless to what's going on.
Man, she set me up, called these motherfuckers a lie and put somebody else's body on me. What kind of shit is that? Then she the motherfucker who supposedly identified me off the video. She made the identification on the video. How? I can't wait to go to court, bro.
I'm gonna stop it at, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep going till
And when do you go to court?
I go to court on the bond reduction Monday, but prelim or whatever ain't till I think like the 23rd or some shit. You got to look it up and keep up with it.
23rd.
Yeah,
I look it up
so
on.
she go 36th district. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know. Well, I was looking up something now.
Yeah, I really don't know. But shit, you got Cleve number?
I think so.
Yeah, you gonna have to put some money on your phone. Yeah, somebody gonna have to go over there. I don't know who. Shit, matter of fact, hit the holy. Motherfucker, bros gonna have to go take their ass over there, go chill or something. That shit ain't cool, bro.
Who you want me to tell Kevin or no?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna put some money on my phone when I get out here. So I'll call me about around 2.
About 2.
Because I'm at orientation right now. So call me back around 2. I'll have some money on the phone.
All right.
I'm gonna stop at 4 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm gonna go to call 80.
This is a
Start this call at 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Play for about 35 seconds.
Well,
Number
can I
she
get-
can try and get the house and make sure she locked in on the house. Thank
Well,
you.
no,
Go ahead.
yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're not interested in that. I know that she get mail there. So because she get mail there, she has to be evicted. But she won't be living there comfortably. Every time she look up, somebody gonna be coming in with her.
I wish I had somebody I could put over there.
I do too.
Because that.
You have 1 minute remaining for.
Stopping at 4 minutes and 25 seconds, playing call number 79. I'm gonna start this at 1 minute, 11 seconds. Play that for about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Man.
The girl I'm motherfucking with here, I'm gonna put Rita them over there right now.
Hey, shit, I'm thinking, man, go get the hot water tank out of there. Call and have the power to turn off.
So, I don't know, yeah, I'm gonna go over there, but I didn't know what was going on until I talked to you, you know?
Yeah. No,
Stop it at 1 minute and 40 seconds. I'm gonna fast forward it to 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
but no, over there, yeah, shut that motherfucker down.
Nah, I don't need.
You have 1 minute remaining for
One.
this call.
I'm gonna call Paco because I think he changed my door code. Go take that hot water tank up out of there. They don't get no luxuries and stuff like that, and you didn't set me up for somebody else's shit.
Hey, another thing before you go, you got a minute.
I'm gonna stop at 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I'm gonna go to call 76.
This is a one-time free.
Start the call at 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
It just
It's
ain't no
all
way
on paperwork. It's all in black and white. They have you recorded, Ruby. I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't play with you. You know I don't play. I wouldn't play with you. I wouldn't lie to you. They got me in this bitch hemmed up on somebody else's body, Ruby. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Can you fix whatever you did?
I didn't do that. That's what I'm telling you. It's
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
They got Aaliyah Moore on the paperwork. You've been on the paperwork. Go ahead.
No, it was some. I gotta ask. Fucking what's her name? Jay. It was some other name. Shit, I ain't think. I told him I can't say nothing because I ain't got nothing. I
hear what you're saying, Ruby. I'm just telling you flat out. These people are saying that you lied and told them that I'm a hitman, I kill people, and I just gave you a T-shirt from a crime scene a couple of days ago.
I would never say no shit like that anyway. I'll call up there and
get in
figure it out.
contact with some detectives, call my mama, y'all figure this out. That you are the reason why I'm in here. When they came to the house and picked y'all up and y'all got to talking to the police and whatever y'all was just saying, that y'all got me caught up in something I don't have.
This.
Stopping at 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Going to call 74. Starting at 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Howard, if anything else, all you do is sit there and try and go through the authors and how the authors evict them out.
And that's what he don't want.
Yeah, well, I say put somebody over there. Don't let them motherfuckers get more comfortability in the house. Period. Right. Huh?
I haven't. I've been going over it. I cleaned that nasty ass room and everything.
What they be trying to use my room and shit?
Oh, they thought about it. They told me we was gonna put stuff in the closet. No, you haven't.
If anything, you get a skeleton key from the Home Depot or something. Get a skeleton key. You can lock that bedroom door. Real shit. That'll fuck their heads up. Lock that bitch with a skeleton.
I was gonna put a padlock on it.
Yeah, that too. But what I suggest, for real, when you do go over there, these motherfuckers slow ain't gonna know. Go turn off the motherfucking heat. Turn off the hot water tank from the hot water tank. And shit, pull an electrical bulb out the house. Who gonna say anything to you? Take power, take their heat. Bitches can't wash their ass, and bitches ain't got no.
You have one.
Stopping it at 2 minutes and 43 seconds, making call 72. Starting that at 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
So she identified me impossibly out of fucking photo of whatever the fuck she identified. How the fuck you gonna identify me that wasn't fucking me? So I'm chill. I'm being calm. And she damn sure not gonna fuck around and lay up in motherfucking comfort, nigga. Why the fuck I'm in this bitch laying up eating bullshit? Because you decided to lie because you worried about me putting you the fuck out of goddamn house. But I'm calm. I'm cool. Huh?
Stopping at 3 minutes and 8 seconds, going to call 66.
This is a call from and paid for by.
Starting at 28 minutes and 2 seconds.
I want you to let it be known. And as soon as the discovery come, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. When the discovery come, I'm gonna send you her statement. I want you to copy it and send it back to me.
Okay.
Put it out there. All that, we got to stop this. It's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Shut that shit the fuck down, bro. On Pops, bro. I swear to God, shut that shit the fuck down. I have my discovery by early part next week. I'm sending that shit to you, or I'm going to contact my lawyer and tell her to give you a copy. That's what I could do out there. When she get it, I could tell her to give you a copy of it. Shut that bitch the fuck down, bro. I don't know how the fuck you gonna figure out shutting my house down, but look, the bitch not, it's 100 degrees outside. The bitch not about to stay at my house with no motherfucking air, no lights, no shit. Shut that bitch down, bro.
I heard what nobody.
Stopping at 29 minutes and 3 seconds, last call, call 62.
Call from and paid for by.
I'll play for a minute and I'll.
Wayne County Jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now. Thank you for using Telmates.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Everything all right? What's going on? I can barely get in contact with anybody out there.
I just had the babies in the car.
You say what?
I had the babies in the car.
Wow. You say babies or babies?
Babies.
Well, the hospital you're on your way to, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm at Shinai Grace. They took me up here.
We're gonna stop at 1 minute. Last portion, I'm gonna start at 8 minutes.
But yeah, that's what's going on. I just people being funny towards you and everything, but put yourself in everybody else's shoes. Like right now, I don't know shit about this shit. They literally got me locked up on somebody else's body 2 years ago. You know how that fucking feels? I'm in this bitch with no bond. No bond. Nothing.
I don't see what I can do to fix this album, but I promise you, I never
disappointed you are or nothing.
Well, I'm telling you with all assurity, this the police, the court documents, everything has your name on it. I just told Paco, as soon as the paperwork come, I'm gonna mess around and send out the paperwork so everybody can have it. But you are named on the paperwork. I can't make this shit up.
Okay.
I'm telling you, what this shit.
Your Honor, I just want to replay that portion. Sorry, 829.
Telling you with all assurity, this the police, the court documents, everything has your name on it. I just told Paco, as soon as the paperwork come, I'm gonna mess around and send out the paperwork so everybody can have it. But
7 minutes and 45 seconds and nothing further, Your Honor.
Personnel.
Yes.
In the jail calls that we just listened to, Mr. Craig never admitted to being involved in the shooting in those calls, correct?
No, did not.
In fact, he said repeatedly that it was not him, correct? You wrote an investigator's report, right?
Yeah, I did.
And that was dated June 13th, 2024, right?
Don't recall the specific date, but it sounds close.
And is that the only report that you've authored in this case?
To the best of my recollection right now, yes.
And that report was written about 2 years after the alleged shooting, correct? You were not the original officer in charge of this case, right?
Correct.
At what point did you become the officer in charge of this case?
Earlier this year.
Do you recall about what month? Were you provided, and the prior officer in charge was Detective Jordan, correct?
That's correct.
Were you provided with any of his notes?
Yes, it was.
Do you believe you were provided with all of his notes?
I was provided with what the department gave me. What was handed to me is what I have.
Now, when I say notes, I believe we've recently been provided with some case management tracking notes. Is that what you were provided with from Detective Jordan when you took over this case?
It wasn't provided like directly from Detective Jordan to me. That's our system of notes. So we usually put like case notes in throughout the courses of our investigations. And when this case was given to me, obviously it's a part of the system. I don't really know how else to elaborate on it other than, it's a report in our system, and when it's assigned to us, we're able to view, the case notes on it. In this particular case, Detective Jordan had it before it was given to me, so I was able to see the notes that he had put into it. But they weren't actually given directly to me from him.
But you had an opportunity to review those notes, correct?
Correct.
Typically, are there other notes that are also taken in addition to the case management tracking notes?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, everybody works differently. So I can say personally, like the way that I run my cases, yeah, I do take additional notes, but that's not to say that every detective or officer that works there, does the same thing.
Are you aware whether Detective Jordan had any additional notes outside of the case management tracking notes in this case?
I do not know, and I can't testify to what his work was.
Prior to your becoming the officer in charge of this case, no arrests were made, right?
Not to my knowledge.
Is Mr. Craig the only individual who has been arrested as a suspect for this case?
Up until today, yes.
You said up until today. Who was arrested today?
No, I'm saying like up until like today, like yes, he's the only one, but in my opinion, Your Honor, ma'am, I'm still working this case and have full confidence that, to continue to get whoever else is involved in regards to this case.
Okay. Did you make any attempts to obtain camera footage from the car wash that's across the street from the Sunoco gas station where this allegedly occurred?
No, I did not.
Did you make any attempts to get footage from any homes on Braille Street?
My recollection, no.
And are you aware if anyone else that was a part of the investigation made any attempts to get ring footage from the homes on Braille Street?
Not to my knowledge.
Are you aware if anyone else in the investigation made any attempts to get footage from the car wash across the street?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you aware if anyone in the course of the investigation of this case attempted to get any camera footage from any homes on Patton Street?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did anyone make any attempts to get footage from the mosque?
I can say that I didn't. As far as what somebody else did, I don't know. I can't justify what other work somebody else did.
But you do know what footage we have, or you have in this investigation currently, right?
What I have, yes.
And you don't have any footage from the mosque, correct?
Correct.
And the mosque was the last known location of the complainant prior to him being shot, right?
Correct.
Did you or anyone in the course of their investigation in this case interview anyone from the mosque?
I in particular, myself, no, I did not.
Are you aware if anyone else did?
I'm not sure. I can't say what somebody else did in their course of their investigation.
Did you send any requests to the mosque to obtain their footage?
Myself in particular, no, I did not.
Do you know if anyone else did?
I can't testify what somebody else is doing.
You received some photos, I think they were titled mosque photos in discovery. Do you recall receiving some photos of the complainant with some individuals that photographed it looked like at the mosque?
I recall seeing some photos. I don't necessarily remember if it was of the complainant.
Do you recall receiving photos of a group of people in the course of this investigation?
Yes.
Okay. What was the relevance of those photos?
I don't recall specifically where they were taken for at. But as far as like who each and every individual was in the photo, I don't recall specifically who was who.
Did you make any attempts to determine who was in those photos?
I believe I spoke with Detective Jordan. I know I spoke with Detective Jordan multiple times, but I don't recall the conversation as it pertains to the actual photos.
Okay, so it's fair to say you didn't speak with any of the individuals who were in those photos?
Correct.
In the course of the investigation, Ring doorbell camera footage was obtained, correct?
Correct.
And is it fair to say that the complainant is shown on that Ring doorbell footage camera?
Correct.
Or Ring doorbell camera footage?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's another individual on that footage as well, correct?
Correct.
Who did you determine that other individual was?
Yeah, I don't recall his name off the top of my head. I know what you're referring to. I know the video clip that you're referring to. I just don't recall the gentleman's name.
Would it have been Sean Clark?
I don't recall his name specifically. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Okay, but that Ring doorbell footage, that was of the day of the shooting, right?
I believe so.
And the complainant, it's fair to say that he looked around nervously in that footage, right?
It's possible. I mean, I didn't know the complainant personally, so I didn't know his body gestures or what was normal for him and what wasn't normal. So I feel that's kind of like an opinion, based question.
In the Ring doorbell footage, he did look around, correct?
Karen, I'm gonna object to, this isn't even evidence, so if she wants to talk about a video, the best evidence rule, then play the video and then we can make a determination what she's talking about.
Sustained.
I'm about it.
Can't testify as to what you did.
Where did you get that Ring doorbell camera footage from?
It was given over to me when the case was given to me.
Happy to enter it into evidence if you want. Can I just have a moment? I have one more question about the ring footage. In that ring footage, the individual that was with the complainant had a gun in his hand, correct?
I do not recall that.
If I showed you the video, would it refresh your recollection?
Yes, it would.
Judge, I apologize. Is there an outlet I could plug into? My computer is likely going to die.
Closest one to the corporate.
Judge, I'm just gonna come back to it, and I might need to plug my computer in it, and that would be all right with the court. Okay, in the course of your investigation, you were not able to determine who the black Dodge Ram truck belonged to that was allegedly involved in this case, correct?
Yeah, up until this point, correct.
Have you been able to determine who that Dodge Ram belonged to?
Not as of this moment.
Have you been able to determine what license plate that Dodge Ram possessed, what license plate number it possessed?
Not of this moment.
Was a license plate reader used in this case to attempt to determine the license plate on that vehicle?
I believe an attempt was made, yes.
Right, do you know when that attempt was made?
I do not.
Do you know if any potential plates or partial plates were obtained from them?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to testify as to what he actually did. I'm not sure if he actually did this or if the prior license did this, about pulling the license plate. Could you just clarify that?
Judge, I'm not sure what he did either. That's why I'm asking the question. I'm not asking for his knowledge of what other people did. Would you like me to restate the question?
Please.
Okay. Are you aware of any results from a license plate reader
No,
in this case?
No.
Were there any attempts made to determine the license plate of the vehicle involved through flock?
Not that I'm aware of, but for whoever did work on this before me, it's possible.
You never received any images through flock of the vehicle, correct?
Not that I believe.
And you didn't make any attempts to obtain any through flock?
Correct.
Why not?
Your Honor, I believe the system only goes back so far. And when the case was given to me, it was already almost 2 years old.
Gotcha.
At the time, were you, if you're aware, Mr. Craig was not driving a black Dodge Ram truck when he was arrested, was he?
No.
You obtained, in the course of your investigation, some footage outside of Happy's Pizza, right?
I didn't obtain it, no, but it was a part of the file that was given.
So there's footage that exists in this case that's outside of Happy's Pizza.
Correct.
Okay, and that footage was obtained in February of 2023.
Karen, I'm gonna object. He just stated he did not obtain that video.
Well, Judge, he's the officer in charge of the case. He very well may know when that footage was obtained, and that's my question.
And I can understand he's the officer in charge of the case, but that does not mean he gets to testify about everything, including hearsay, including things he didn't even pull, and on what days, what's in police reports.
He testified as to that information came into his possession.
Okay. Would you like me to restate the question?
Please.
Is it true that the footage outside of Happy's Pizza was obtained or came into the possession of investigators in February of 2023?
As far as the video footage was obtained, yes, it was obtained. As far as the date specifically, I have no idea.
It wasn't until May of 2024 that you interviewed the owner of Happy's Pizza, right?
I believe so.
And that was almost two years later, right?
Correct.
And that was the first time the owner of the Happy's Pizza was ever interviewed, right?
By myself, yes. By me, yes. As far as if somebody else went and interviewed him, that was, I don't have any knowledge of it.
Were you given any indication that anyone else ever interviewed him?
Not to my knowledge.
Was your interview of the owner of the Happy's Pizza at all recorded?
Yes, it was.
In what manner was it recorded?
On a body-worn camera.
And that was turned over and assumed to the prosecutor and preserved in the manner that's appropriate?
Yes, it was.
Did you ask him at all to provide a written statement?
No, I don't believe so.
Did you ask him for any footage inside the Happy's Pizza?
No, I did not.
But you're aware that the shooter in this case actually went inside the Happy's Pizza on the day of the shooting, right?
I was given that information.
And you're also aware that the shooter went inside that Happy's Pizza the day before the shooting, right?
I don't remember that specifically.
Is it your understanding that there were no attempts ever made to get the footage of inside the Happy's Pizza on the day of the shooting?
I don't know what attempts were made. I can't testify to what somebody else did before me.
Have you been given any indication by anyone in this investigation that they tried to get the footage of the shooter when he was sitting inside the Happy's Pizza the day of the shooting?
No, I did not.
But you are aware the shooter sat down in a Happy's Pizza the day of the shooting, right?
I was provided that information, correct?
And you're aware that he not only sat down in the Happy's Pizza, but he opened up a menu and looked around, right?
I don't know. I don't have that information. But
you did get Officer Jordan's notes.
Correct.
And if it were in the notes that occurred, you would have knowledge to that, right?
If that were in the notes, or if that's something that Jordan did, I don't know. I don't know what Jordan did when the case was this.
But nonetheless, no attempts were made to get the footage of the shooter sitting in the Happy's Pizza the day of the shooting.
Since the time that I've had this case, from this year, no.
And we don't have it. You don't have in your possession any footage inside Happy's Pizza on the day of the shooting. I'll move on, Judge. You obtained throughout the course of the investigation, there was a Google geofence search warrant issued, correct?
Not by myself, no.
Okay, but in this case, there was a Google geofence search warrant that was signed, executed, and sent to retrieve the results, right?
According to the information that was given to me, yes.
And you received the results of that Google geofence, right?
I believe so.
And you also received Mr. Craig's cell phone device, correct?
I did.
And it's true that Mr. Craig's cell phone device was not one of the devices located in the Google geofence, right?
I don't recall because I didn't conduct the Google geofence, but I don't believe so.
Do you recall who the devices within the Google geofence belong to?
No, I don't.
Did you interview any of those individuals?
No, I did not.
Did you run a search on whether any of those individuals who are located in the Google geofence Did you run a search on those individuals to determine if any of them had a Dodge Ram truck registered to them?
No, I did not.
Are you familiar with GrisNet?
Yes,
Okay, and is it a software that allows you to run a phone number and see if there's any police reports that connect to that phone number? Is that accurate?
I mean, we have multiple systems that we're able to check.
Was that used at all in this case?
For me in particular, I did not use it, no.
Have you got any indication that it was used by anyone else?
No, I did not.
And you don't have any results that would suggest it was used, right?
Correct.
It's my understanding that you got some information about other suspects in this case, right?
What
Well,
do you mean?
Did you investigate any other suspects in this case?
Nothing that's been, right words I'm looking for. It's still an active investigation as far as who the two other individuals in the truck were.
Okay, but did you investigate any other suspects with regards to who the shooter
No, I didn't.
was? You did get some records containing a Richard Morlett. Is that accurate?
No. Not that I recall anyway.
Okay. You got some call records about a Hazel Davis.
Not that I recall.
You don't recall those records being in
I'm
December?
gonna object to since that's not evidence. This is all hearsay. You got this from who? Where is this evidence coming?
Well, Your Honor, this is evidence that I received on Friday in discovery that I was told was provided to me from this officer's drive. And I don't have a report as to who these people are. So this is the only means I have to ask this witness why and how and where this information came from. It was, as far as I know, provided from this officer's drive to me last week.
And lay a foundation and put the evidence in the record. But just simply saying, isn't this true? Isn't this true? Didn't you go do this? Didn't someone do this? Like, where's the evidence at?
I don't see a purpose of putting thousands of pages of someone's cell phone records who may not even be relevant into evidence. That's the purpose of asking this question, is to determine why this officer or whoever in the investigation got these records and what relevance they have. That's all I
lack
want
of
to know.
foundation, I feel like. She's just asking, do you have any other suspects? No. Okay, well, what about this, Richard? It's true that this was done, but lay more foundation. Did you pull someone's phone records? Do you have this? It's just she's asking them everything and anything about this case just because he's the officer in charge.
Thank you, Your Honor. You obtained several sets of phone records in this case, correct?
I obtained it through once the file was given to me. But did I personally conduct search warrants for the names that you had just mentioned before? No, I did not.
All right, let me just be clear. I'm not asking about what search warrants. I am asking about what records you have in your possession as the officer in charge of this case. And you have, it's my understanding, a drive of records, right?
Correct.
And that was given to the prosecutor to be provided to me last week, correct?
Correct.
And on that drive, there are cell phone call detail records for a Hazel Davis, correct?
It's possible.
So are you saying that you, as the officer in charge of investigating this case, don't know what call detail records exist?
There's a lot of call detail records on this case. I don't recall each and every name in particular off the top of my head.
When you looked, so did you look at the call detail records you received at all?
Yes, I did.
Okay. One of them belonged to this Hazel Davis. Did you interview that person?
No, I did not.
Did you obtain a statement from that person?
No, I did not.
Do you know if those call details belonging to Hazel Davis had any relevance in this investigation?
No, I do not.
Were you able to determine the location of the device belonging reportedly to Hazel Davis?
No, I was not.
Did you take any steps to try to determine the location of that device?
So that particular device?
Yes.
No, I did not.
You also received call detail records belonging to a Clay Coates, correct?
Correct.
Did you interview that person?
No, I did not.
Did you get a statement from them?
No, I did not.
Did you make any attempts to determine if those call detail records had any relevance in this case?
As far as, I was able to communicate with our cell phone, I don't know if you call it analyst, I may be saying the name wrong, to determine and go over the records, to determine if any of these devices actually hit at the scene at the time of the homicide, and none of them did.
If none of them hit at the scene at the time of the homicide, why were these records obtained?
That was work that was done before I became the officer in charge. I can't testify to what somebody else did.
One more, to Shauna Stallworth, you obtained that individual's call detail records as well, correct?
I don't remember the name specifically. Like I said, there's a lot of cellular data records in this case.
Well, did you interview that person, to Shauna Stallworth?
No, I didn't.
Did you interview Sean Clark?
No, I did not.
You did go to his home though, correct?
No, I did not.
Did you pull a Google search, Google Maps search of his home?
I don't recall specifically.
If I showed you your case management tracking note, would that refresh your recollection?
Sure, yes.
You could read it to yourself, not out loud, and look up at me once your memory has been refreshed.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm good.
Your Honor, might I retrieve the piece of paper?
Yeah.
All right, so does that refresh your recollection?
Yes, it does.
All right, and did you in fact pull a Google map of Sean Clark's home?
I did.
And when you did that, you found a black Dodge Ram truck in the driveway of his home, correct?
Correct.
And Sean Clark was one of the last people that saw the complainant on the day in question, correct?
Correct.
And in the course of the investigation, he was a suspect, right?
From the time that I got the case, in my opinion, no.
Okay, you got a search warrant for his cell phone records, correct?
Correct.
And did you ask him to turn over his cell phone voluntarily?
I never spoke to Sean Clark.
Okay. For what purpose, if he wasn't a suspect, did you get his cell phone records? Or I'm sorry, did you get a search warrant for his cell phone records?
I didn't get a search warrant for Mr. Clark's cell phone records. I believe that was work that was done prior to the case being given to me.
Well, a search warrant, it looks like was issued on April 1st, 2024. Are you saying that was not you who issued that search warrant?
I just said I don't remember or don't believe. I may have gotten a search warrant for it. Like I said, I've typed a lot of search warrants in this case.
I showed you a copy of the search warrant authored by you. Would that refresh your recollection?
Yes, it would.
May I approach the witness?
Right.
Yes, this is mine.
Okay, so you issued a search warrant for a Sean X phone record. Phone records belonging to an individual named Sean X, correct?
Correct.
And that is Sean Clark, correct?
Correct.
So, Your Honor, might I approach to retrieve the search warrant?
Yes.
Thank you. So you testified earlier he wasn't a suspect in your eyes, but you got a search warrant for his cell phone records. For what purpose did you obtain this search warrant of his cell phone records?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call him maybe a suspect, he could have been considered a person of interest. Our cell phone records are able to determine that, if they have contact with individuals, if they receive incoming, outgoing calls, we're able to determine if, there's any, numbers that may have been, let's just say, in contact with the victim or the, Mr. Clark or any other cell phone records for that matter. We compare the records to see, if there's been any contact, let's just say, ever between, a victim and whomever. As far as, I guess, trying to find the right way to explain it. So, maybe he talked to Sean Clark one time in his life. Maybe he talked to him 1,000 times in his life. Throughout, when we get somebody's CDRs, we're able to determine how many times they actually talked to an individual and the frequency of how much they talk to that person.
In getting those results, you didn't find any connection between Sean Clark and Kelvin Craig, correct?
Correct.
Did you make any attempt to interview Sean Clark?
No, I didn't.
And no written statement was ever given by Sean Clark, to your knowledge, correct?
To my knowledge, correct.
Was Sean Clark's device located in the geofence?
I don't recall.
You also obtained a search warrant for cell phone records belonging to a Kevin Foreman Jr., correct?
I believe so.
Would it refresh your recollection if I showed you a copy of the search warrant, or is that a yes?
Oh, yeah, can I see a copy of the search warrant?
May I approach, Your Honor? You could read it to yourself, not out loud, and look up at me once your recollection's been refreshed. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, did you obtain a search warrant for call records belonging to Kevin Foreman Jr.?
Yes.
Okay. For what purpose did you obtain those call records?
So the same thing, it's just an investigative tool.
Was he someone that was believed to have been involved in the shooting?
No.
How did you make the determination that he was not involved in the shooting?
From looking at, I don't recall specifically if it was there was no activity on his phone specifically as far as at the time of the shooting. And I believe that the individual's device was not nowhere near the location of the shooting.
Was his device located in the geofence?
I don't believe so.
Was that the individual, Kevin Foreman Jr., who you received the Ring doorbell footage from?
I don't know who obtained the Ring doorbell footage.
Can I approach to retrieve the document? You also obtained a search warrant for call records belonging to a Chanel Smith. that correct?
Don't recall specifically.
Maybe I walked up to you too soon. If I showed you the search warrant that
Oh,
I
it's the
just
same
showed you,
one,
would that
yes,
refresh your
yes.
memory?
Yes,
Okay, you did. Was she at any point a person that was believed to have been involved in the shooting?
I don't believe so.
Okay, for what purpose was her call records obtained?
The relationship between her and the victim.
A Kenneth Richardson Jr. Was interrogated in this case, correct? So in the, you don't recall providing the people with a video of an interrogation from a Kenneth Richardson Jr.?
Kenneth Richardson. The name doesn't sound familiar.
Was there ever a James Kimball that was investigated in the course of this case?
If it was before it was given to me.
You never made any attempts to interview that person?
No, I did not.
And you didn't make any attempts to interview Kenneth Richardson Jr.?
No, I did not.
And as it sits right here today, you're not even aware that he was ever interviewed, right?
Correct.
All right, I'm going to turn your attention to exhibits 9 and 10. These are the still shot photos that I believe you showed to Ms. Moore and Raven Landers, as she gave her name at that point in time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. This particular photo that's on this page that you showed to them, where did you get that photo from?
I believe I used the snippet tool on my computer desk when I was playing the actual video footage.
Did you make any alterations to this photo?
No, I did not.
Did you make any enhancements or changes to the brightness level?
No, I did not.
Did you ask anyone to make any enhancements to this photo?
No, I did not.
Are you aware if in the course of investigation of this case, anyone made any enhancements to any still shots?
No, I'm not.
When you first showed Ms. Moore and Ms. Landers, as I'll refer to her, Bolender, Ms. Landers / Ms. Bolender, when you first showed them this photo, it was on the sidewalk outside of the Sussex house.
Correct.
And you showed it to them on your iPhone, correct?
I believe it was on my department issued phone.
On your department issued phone, all right. And that phone has about a 6-inch screen. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And when you show them this photo on a 6-inch screen on the sidewalk at Sussex, they recognize this person as Mr. Craig, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you were there and are privy to what was found inside the Sussex home, correct?
Correct.
All right. In this photo, the shooter has on a neon orange hat. That was not found in the Sussex home, correct?
No, it was not.
The black face covering that this individual has on, that was not found in the Sussex home, correct?
No, ma'am.
The vest, orange neon vest in this photo, that was also not found in Sussex, correct?
Correct.
These pants were not found in Sussex.
Correct.
The Nike shoes with the black Nike shoes with the white swoosh, that was not found at Sussex either, correct? And a neon shirt was found.
That's correct.
Okay. That's not the same shirt though, correct?
I can't say whether it is or isn't.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Right.
Thank you. Okay, this is a photo of the shooter in this case, correct?
Correct.
And this is a photo of the shooter outside of the Sunoco gas station, correct?
I mean, I don't know specifically where this is, but it's a photo of the shooter.
Okay, and this photo fairly and accurately depicts the shooter in this case, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of this photo at this time.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Admitted,
Your Honor, read and published to the court.
please.
I'm sorry, defendant's exhibit B. Okay, so in this photo, the shooter is wearing the neon shirt, correct?
Correct.
A neon shirt, correct? And we can see his left hand in this photo, correct?
Correct.
And his shirt sleeve, his left shirt sleeve, has a black marking at the bottom of that sleeve, correct?
Looks like something, but yeah, it looks like there's something at the bottom of the actual shirt.
Okay. There's also a marking at the bottom of the bottom left of the shirt, the neon shirt, correct?
Can you show me like specifically where you're referring to?
The bottom left of the shooter's shirt,
Like above, like maybe his pocket?
below the vest and above the pocket.
I believe that may be part of the vest, in my opinion.
Okay, but there's a black marking there.
There's some type of marking there, yes.
Okay, and you would agree with me that the shirt found at the Sussex house, it didn't have a marking on the left sleeve.
I didn't look too well at the shirt, so I can't answer that.
But-
It seemed that it was a neon yellow shirt, but as far as going in and examining it, the vast majority of the time when the search warrant was conducted on suspects, I was outside the residence interviewing the witnesses.
Okay, but you prepared a PowerPoint in this case containing all of the crime scene photos, right?
Correct, yes,
Okay, and so you reviewed the crime scene photos taken by the evidence tech, right?
correct.
And those photos didn't depict any marking of any kind on the shirt's left sleeve,
Not
right?
that I recall, correct.
And the shirt that was found, it was found about 2 years later, right?
Correct.
Based on your investigation in this case, how much do you believe the shooter in this case weighs?
I have no idea. Do you just let me guess?
Have you done anything to attempt to determine his weight?
I think I looked at his lean information, but as far as memorizing how much he weighs, no, I did not.
So just to be clear, I'm asking about the shooter,
Correct.
okay, not Mr. Craig. Did you make any attempts to determine how tall the shooter is based on all the footage that you have?
No, I did not.
You could have though, right?
Could I have? It's possible I could have formed an opinion.
You were asked some questions, and Exhibit 11 is a form that was signed by Mr. Craig when you interviewed him, correct?
Correct.
And it has his signature on this form, Exhibit 11,
Correct.
and he signed it right in front of you, right?
Correct.
The shooter, and let me go back a minute, the manner of death in this case, it was 4 gunshot wounds to the right chin, correct?
I believe so.
And those shots were simultaneous, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the shooter in this case, he used his right hand, right?
I believe so, yes.
You believe so, or he did?
He did.
He did. And you've taken firearms training, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd agree with me that it'd be very difficult to do 4 shots in succession with your non-dominant hand.
That's good.
Okay. when Mr. Craig signed this form in front of you, he signed with his left hand, correct?
I don't recall what Andy signed it with.
Oh, well, if I showed you a video or a still of the video of you with him while he's signing this form, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes, it would.
Thank you. Sorry, Judge, I'm gonna have to relocate a little bit over there to the plug. It was fully charged when I got here.
If it's worth anything, I've been observing the defendant in court, and the court will take judicial notice that he's been writing with his left hand.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate that. I have it. If I could, oh, it says screen sharing is disabled.
Go ahead.
Okay. This, that's a still shot of you and Mr. Craig and
Correct.
another officer, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and he's using his left hand right there to sign, correct?
Correct.
And based upon your memory, the only thing he signed was this form,
Correct.
right? So he used his left hand to sign this form,
Correct.
okay? Your Honor, I'd actually move for the admission of this still shot into evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yeah. And Judge, might I publish to the court?
Yes.
And just for the record, this would be defendant's exhibit C. In your, during your interview with Mr. Craig, he also, he signed a consent form to have a swab done, a bubble swab, right?
Correct.
Okay, he also used his left hand to sign that.
I believe I had a search warrant as well. I don't recall specifically, but I believe I might have had a search warrant for Mr. Craig, but he also might have given me consent. I don't remember specifically.
Okay. During your interview with Mr. Craig, you asked him about his tattoos, right?
Correct.
And he actually pointed out for you the Doodle Bob's tattoo that we've heard testify today, right?
He did.
And do you recall, and it was on his upper right arm, right? Is that your recollection?
I believe so, yes.
You believe so, or it is? Or would it assist you if I showed you a photo to refresh your recollection?
I believe it was his right arm.
Okay, if I showed you a photo of it, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Correct.
Okay, and the Doodle Bob's tattoo that was discussed was on his upper left hand bicep, correct?
I don't remember that.
I'm sorry, upper right hand
yes,
bicep,
his right,
correct?
yes.
Okay. The photo of the shooter, there were no tattoos that were seen on the photo of the shooter, correct?
Correct.
You also, while you were sitting there with him, you observed that he has tattoos on each of his fingers, didn't you?
I Don't remember specifically, it's possible.
Do you recall that he has a tattoo also on his forearm, just below the crease of his elbow?
No, I do not.
I'm gonna take this down if that's okay with the board. In the course of your investigation, were you, and so during your interview with Mr. Craig, he mentioned that he was picked up in a variety of vehicles to go to work, right?
It was 3 in particular.
3 different vehicles, right? Okay, one of them he said was a 2010 black Dodge Ram, right?
I don't remember the year specifically, but it was excuse me, if he drove, it was a Mercury Mountaineer. Otherwise, it was picked up in a white F-150 or a black Dodge Ram.
Were you able to determine the year of the truck that was involved in this case?
No,
Mr. Craig also told you that he got rides from work from a Cleveland Barclay.
correct.
Did you ever interview that individual?
Not yet.
Did you ever run him to determine if he has any Dodge Ram truck registered to him?
I don't recall specifically.
Mr. Craig told you during his interview that he doesn't wear a vest to work, a neon vest to work, correct?
Correct.
He also told you during that interview that his brother's name is Devontae.
I don't remember that, but okay.
He, during your interview, gave you the passcode to his phone and
Correct.
voluntarily turned it over, right?
Correct.
Okay. He was cooperative, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
He waived his right to have a lawyer present and talk to you, right?
He did.
He answered your questions.
He did.
He even offered to take a polygraph.
He did.
You never gave him one though, right?
Correct.
He also gave his DNA without any issue.
Correct.
When you first met with Ms. Moore, you were given the impression that she owned the home, right?
Correct.
And you determined that's not accurate, right?
Correct.
When you were at the Sussex location, well, actually throughout the course of the investigation, you never found any black Dodge Ram that was connected to Mr. Craig.
Correct.
Were you a part of the interview of Ms. Moore at the station, at the police station?
Yes.
Is it true that at first she did not recognize anything about the shooter when you showed her a clip of the shooting?
I don't remember that ever happening.
You searched Mr. Craig's car, or the car that was tied to him, correct?
So I obtained a search warrant for the vehicle to be processed. Me in particular, did I search it? No, I did not.
Okay, was Mr. Craig's car searched? The car tied to him and searched?
The vehicle that he was arrested in was processed, yes.
And there was no neon vest found in that vehicle, right?
Excuse me, no.
In fact, there was no neon vest found anywhere in connection to Mr. Craig.
Correct.
I could have it. In the course of your investigation, you never found any connection between the complainant and Mr. Craig.
Correct.
They never communicated with each other, right?
Correct.
In fact, Mr. Craig never communicated with anyone in the phone records that you have, right?
Throughout this course of the investigation, no.
Judge, I do have one additional question I want to go back to. It requires me to play a video, the Ring doorbell video, if the court would allow me some latitude to do that, to pull it up. Thank you. Judge, just for ease, would it be all right if I questioned from over here about the video?
I'm sorry?
Would it be all right if I asked questions about the video from over here, just so I?
As long as I can hear you.
Okay, I'll be loud. You received or in the course of the investigation, a Ring doorbell video was provided.
Correct.
Okay. And the Ring doorbell camera footage depicted the complainant on the day of the shooting, correct? Okay. And if I could, Your Honor, to share my screen and pull it up. Is this the Ring footage that you received?
It appears to be.
Okay, does this, well, I guess I could play it and then move for the admission if that's all right. Oops. I'm gonna stop it right there. I have 8 seconds in. That individual right there, that's the complainant, correct?
Right.
Now that individual, coming out of the home, and this is at 1 minute and 16 seconds in, who is that individual?
That's Kevin.
I'm sorry?
Kevin?
Kevin?
Correct.
Who is Kevin?
That was the individual that the complaint was at his house prior to going to the
And, oh, sorry, I stopped it a little bit late, but that was a firearm in his hand, correct?
It appeared to be, yes.
Now, did you interview anyone regarding that video?
No, I did not.
Did you determine what type of gun that was in that video?
No, I did not.
No firearms were ever found on Mr. Craig's person, correct?
Correct.
No firearms were ever found at the Sussex address.
Correct.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Just one question. Were you ever able to determine who the home belonged to on Sussex?
No, I was not.
That's it.
Okay, so when did you become the officer in charge of this case?
I want to say it was around April of this year, Your Honor, give or take.
Were you able to establish any connection between the defendant and the plaintiff?
No, I was not. So you're right.
Did you investigate where the defendant worked and how he got there?
Was I ever able to identify where he worked?
Where he worked and how he got there back and forth to the business?
So he had informed me throughout the time when we were conducting our interrogation that he was a contractor, that he did work on houses. He had told myself and Detective White that if he was driving, it was a Mercury Mountaineer, or if he wasn't driving, he caught a ride from his cousin Cleve, who drives either a white F-150 or a black Dodge.
And did you talk to Cleve?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Why not?
I just haven't.
The vehicle that picked up the shooter after the shooting appeared to be the black vehicle that you just spoke about, right?
The black Dodge Ram, yes, Your Honor.
Black Dodge Ram. So why not talk to Cleve about the black Dodge Ram, especially if there's a possibility that if Cleve was the driver of this vehicle, that Cleve could very well be involved as an aider and abettor in this case.
Correct, Your Honor, and I agree. I haven't made it to that point yet, Your Honor.
Because this case is over 2 years old now, right?
Correct.
Okay, so what are we waiting on?
Just still working the case, Your Honor. I've been waiting for records to come back amongst,
What kind of records?
So, phone records.
Phone records?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I thought we had phone records from the defendants that don't place them there, right?
Correct, no, there's no records of the defendant's phone that places in there, Your Honor.
Any questions based on my questions?
Yes. When did you first learn about this Cleve, this black truck?
When I interviewed Ms. Moore at the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters, and when she was shown the video, that's when she said that's Cleve's truck.
Is it fair to say you're still doing an investigation?
Yes, Your Honor, I heard. Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further.
Just one question. Mr. Craig, when you interviewed him, he told you about Cleve,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So you actually knew about it at the time that you interviewed Mr. Craig.
I knew that an individual by the name of Cleve exists, but I didn't know who actually Cleve was.
And you didn't ask Mr. Craig any further questions for his full name, did you?
Correct.
Or contact information?
I did not.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank you.
No further witnesses for the people, Your Honor.
Any witnesses for the defendant?
I'm sorry, no witnesses for the defense, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so starting with People's Exhibit 6, this is where we see the Happy's Pizza. That's at about 1:38 p.m. timestamp. Why this is important is because we can see this individual who's wearing the neon shirt, and he gets into a black truck. So Ms. Moore testifies and states that that truck looks familiar. She sees that truck all the time. That's how the defendant goes to work and gets dropped off. We also have the defendant himself making that statement, that that's how he gets to work when he doesn't have his own vehicle, is in a black truck. We then see in People's Exhibit 5, we have that black truck and the victim's truck traveling down the 7-mile road. We see the victim's vehicle pull into the gas station, and about 2 streets down, we see that black truck pull down that street, which is Fielding. Then about 1:44 p.m., we see the defendant running up the side of the gas station in the clothing. He goes to the front of the gas station, he runs right up to the victim, he shoots him about 4 times, and then he flees that location. So we have 2 women that are testifying that this is the individual. The defendant is the individual, not only in the still shot, but also in the video. So we have a still shot Both of them say, yes, that is him, that is the individual, I live with him, the one testifies, I have an intimate relationship with him, I am very aware of his body and everything. And then we have them doing the video, where they both again confirm, yes, this is this individual. This is not just them saying, that shirt looks familiar. This is them going through the shirt, the vest, the shoes, the watch, how he walks, his body, his upper body is bigger than his lower body. Again, Ms. Moore testifies, she's been intimate with him, she's very aware of him, they have dogs, she's seen him run before, she's been around him. We also then have Ms. Bolander, who's also Landers, stating that she sees the vest that is in this photo in his bedroom in the home that they're sharing. She also sees in the car when he goes to work that he's wearing this vest as he's going to work. We also have a neon shirt that we recovered from his home at the location. Then we have these jail calls. And it's basically him trying to make these two females so uncomfortable that they don't show up to court. To quote some of these calls, it's saying she won't live there comfortably. Every time she looks up, someone's gonna be right there with her. Wish I had someone I could put over there. Go get the hot water tank, call and have the power turned off. Call Pago, which now we know is the defendant's brother. Change the door code, take the hot water tank, put someone over there, don't let them get comfortable. I'm gonna send you, talking about the discovery, send it, put it out there. Shut that bitch the F down. But then he's talking to actually Miss Moore, and he says to her, as soon as the paperwork comes, I'm gonna mess around so everyone can have it. So that call, that takes place on June 19th of 2024, the defendant saying to Ms. Moore, I'm gonna mess around. I'll put this discovery out there. Your name's all over it. Pretty much everyone's gonna know that you're talking. And then on June 21st, 2024, we're at a PCC where the defense counsel makes an argument that the defendant needs unredacted discovery. So that's what he's doing. He's calling up the witnesses and saying, I'm gonna share this discovery.
Objection, Your Honor. My arguments are not relevant to this bind over argument. And first of all, second of all, my client wasn't even at that hearing, actually. His presence was waived, so he didn't hear any of those arguments. He was not even privy to those arguments at that time.
Well, he can hear it now, but that's been a discussion with this court about this discovery. So again, homicide first degree, what do? We look to what the defendant's doing before, during, and after. So after this takes place and he's in custody, he's contacting the witness and saying, you need to fix this. You need to do something about this. I'm gonna get the discovery, I'm gonna share it around, I'm gonna mess around and send it to everyone. There's charges of M1. I don't think there's any argument that this is execution style. This is M1. Someone planned this, he's creeping up the side of the gas station, he's running over, he's shooting and he's running off. We see him getting dropped off or picked up from the truck and then kind of going around the gas station. We have, FIP, which I already did the prior conviction the last time for armed robbery. And then we have CCW, we see this, the defendant pulling the gun from his pocket. Your Honor, this hearing is a probable cause standard. I'm asking as a probable cause standard, we have two witnesses are stating this is the individual. They're identifying the defendant from the still shot and the video saying this is this individual. So with that, Your Honor, I'd ask the defendant found over as charged.
Your Honor, just as a matter of housekeeping, I just realized I have the court's copy of Defendant's Exhibit A. I believe.
Please understand.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Judge. This goes without saying that it's a difficult case. The video is difficult to watch. My heart truly goes out to anyone who is suffering as a result of this. But Judge, unfortunately, in this case, DPD got it wrong. They have the wrong person sitting here, and the identification in this case is based upon two female witnesses who didn't even know my client at the time of this shooting, didn't know what he looked like, didn't know where he was, didn't know what he wore, what he worked, where he worked at, what he did. at this time. It's based upon them saying these photos look like him. People's Exhibit 9. This is a blurry photo where you cannot see the person's face. You cannot see any facial features. You can't see their hair. You can't see their ears. You can't see their mouth. You can't see anything on this person. So what that identification is going off of is a blurry still shot of an individual wearing a neon shirt and a vest that frankly is extremely common in the blue collar world. I actually had a worker come to my house this weekend, kid you not, while I was preparing, I about died, Judge, showed up in the same neon shirt and a vest at my door. I didn't want to answer. I went, oh my God, there's no way. But
he didn't have on the orange hat. No, he
didn't have on the orange hat. No, he didn't. But the point being, Judge, this is a common shirt, a common vest, and none of the items that the shooter was wearing was ever found in my client's possession. If you look at Defense Exhibit B, the orange neon shirt has two markings on it. It has a marking on the left sleeve and a marking on the bottom left. The shirt that was entered into evidence, and I believe it's Exhibit 13B, has no markings on it. The evidence testified that shirt had no markings that are consistent with this shirt. That's not the same shirt. Frankly, I don't think the shirt should even be considered in the bind over argument because it's not the same shirt. It doesn't have the same markings on it. And nonetheless, the shirt was found almost 2 years later. With regards to the testimony of the witnesses, Ms. Moore was a combative witness, I think, to say the least. Again, I think it speaks volumes to her credibility that the first time she saw this photo was on Detective Blackwell's 6-inch cell phone, and she said, yeah, 100% sure that's him. Who could ever say 100% certainty that I know who this person is? I mean, Judge, there's just no way, I mean, at all. I don't think a jury would ever believe that, and the standard for bind over isn't just whether probable cause has been shown, but it also has to be considered whether a jury would ever convict on this evidence, and simply put, they would not. This is not an image at all that can ascertain anything remotely similar to my client. Although, Judge, there's one saving grace here. Defense Exhibit A shows the right arm of the shooter. It shows the forearm of the shooter. The shooter does not have any tattoos. Your Honor, my client has a doodlebug tattoo right here on his upper right bicep.
To your point, how do I know he had those tattoos back 2 years ago?
Well, Judge, I'd ask the court to take judicial notice of his Otis profile, which states he had those tattoos well over 2 years ago.
Otis profile?
Yes, Judge.
Do I have that?
No, but I'm happy to provide it to the court.
Can I just, so for clarification, can I see what they're pointing at? Because I see a tattoo up here and I see in the picture a shirt that covers that tattoo. So even if you have a tattoo in this photo, it's covering that.
No.
Forearm is a tattoo.
Forearm tattoo. Forearm tattoo, doodle box tattoo. I'm happy to approach with his Otis records too if the court wishes to have that.
Okay. I can take judicial notice of those.
Thank you. Here's a copy of the letter. So Judge, looking at this Otis record, it says at the top kind of left corner, it says image date 3/1/2022. And then down below, it states marks, scars, and tattoos. It lists a facial mole, which we don't see in the shooter, but nonetheless. It lists a center right forearm tattoo that says tiny. That's still on my client's body as of today.
Tiny. Got it. Okay.
And Judge, I would submit to the court, he has had that tattoo, the tiny tattoo, for several
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Judge, additionally, there's been no connection to my client with the geofence or any cell phone devices either in this case. And had he or his device been at that location, it would have shown up in the geofence. So there's no connection there. I think there's a lot of investigation that could have and absolutely should have been done in this case to find the right suspect, but unfortunately it wasn't done. We're here now. This is not the right individual. And Judge, I don't know if now's the appropriate time to discuss this, but I will raise it in my bond argument, but my client's also passed a polygraph on this issue.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object. What does that
Not
even
really.
matter?
Well, I can bring it up I'm gonna address it in the bond argument. I can raise it in a
Why?
bond.
They don't even accept it in court.
Well, I can.
What does that have anything to do? It's not even admissible in court.
I think Judge, you are the gatekeeper in this case. And I think at this level, with this seriousness of charges, when we have someone who is wrongfully charged, wrongfully imprisoned, that it should be considered.
Losses, not as it relates to polygraph.
Well, it can come in for bond.
We're not at a bond argument.
Understood, Judge.
Fine. All right. Okay. The defendant is charged with first-degree murder premeditated, being a felon in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, 2 counts of felony firearm. I don't think there's any question that the victim here, Devontae Bridges, was the victim of a first-degree murder premeditated. I don't think anybody disputes that. What is in dispute here is whether the defendant is responsible for that. And quite frankly, I have too many no's to find this matter over. I have no ties to the complaining witness, no beef with the complaining witness. That the defendant was the person who did this dastardly deed was right-handed. The defendant is left-handed. I've been noticing the defendant here in court all morning, about afternoon. He's been consistently writing with his left hand. And my common sense tells me that if I'm going to kill someone, I'm going to catch them by surprise. I'm not going to use my non-dominant hand to do so. I'm going to use the hand that I'm most comfortable with in firing those shots. And I'm comfortable in believing that the defendant is left-handed. The shooter here was right-handed. I have no vest. I don't even think I have a neon shirt because the neon shirt that was found at the location did have markings on the left sleeve and on the bottom of the left portion of the shirt. As I look at People's Exhibit 13B, it has no markings on the bottom of the shirt. 13C, no markings. 13B, no markings. As well, it shows the sleeves, the short sleeves of the shirt, and there's no markings on those exhibits either. And why would I believe that 2 years later, that same neon shirt would be found in the dirty clothes hamper or in the closet or wherever this shirt was found? Why would I believe that 2 years later, that same shirt would be found there? I have no vest, I have no gun, I have no phone records to place him at that location. There's just not enough evidence here for this court to find this matter over. This court finds that there's insufficient evidence to bind over an appropriate dismiss court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I have all of you guys' exhibits. I need dismissal order.
Oh.
I'll stop with the attorney.